Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to delivery day. That's right, today we are taking delivery of the all-new 2021 Ducati Monster. And well, as much as I would love to take delivery of this pre-production aviator gray Monster Plus, which has the windscreen, which has the little rear cowl and the Tirminoni exhaust, which is an option. We do take delivery of the standard Monster with the rear cowl and just no fly screen, but I gotta say I'm super excited. Seeing this thing in person is just a whole nother bike. I had some questions which I'll stress in my first ride and concerns about this bike, but seeing it, I'm almost in love. So without further ado, first I also have to thank Alex. Thank you so much. He is allowing us to take this out to a Laguna Day track day, and I'm super excited to have it on the track, but we're also going to have it on the street for you guys. So without further ado, let's get it out on our first ride. Let's talk about all the amazing features on the new 2021 Ducati Monster, and then stay tuned because we'll have it out on the track at Laguna Seca for some track reviews. So without further ado, let's get this thing loaded up and out to Berryessa for its very first ride. All right, guys, well, here it is, the all-new 2021 Ducati Monster. And if you guys are new to the channel, I encourage you guys to hit the subscribe button because, well, we have a few Ducatis, don't we? Bogna is not mic'd up today, but she is on her 2021 Ducati V2. We have a 2020 Ducati Street Fighter, but today is all about this Monster and our first impression ride. Now, I also encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button because there are going to be some other rides on this that are going to give you a little bit more detailed information. Again, this is the first impression ride, but Bogna's going to be on it tomorrow for a full first impression and review in a woman's perspective. Myself, I'm 6'2", 230 pounds. I'm probably not the candidate for the Ducati Monster, so we wanted to make sure that Bogna got on this and gave you guys a real review of someone 5'9", 120 pounds on the Monster. But if you guys are big like me, well, here's your first impression. But I want to make sure you guys, Ducati has made it very clear. This is a L twin motor. It is not a V twin motor, although they call the L2 the V2. They're making it very clear this is an L2, and well, prominently right here you can see that the L2 is real prominent. Now you can also see that, well, we're missing that trellis frame, and I will say on my first impression of the release of this bike, I was very disappointed that Ducati got rid of that trellis frame. But when you stand back and you look at this thing, it says Monster. 100% it says Monster. The exhaust is nice. It's got a good Ducati note to the exhaust. And the styling is real good. So again, stick around because this is a first impression ride. This is me getting on this thing for the very first time and what I feel for this bike. So I've put about 30 miles coming up here just on a basic little ride. So we're gonna go ahead and get out on the road and tell you how I felt coming up here. So a few stats about the bike. Again, we'll have a full in-depth stat review, but we're looking at 111 horsepower, 69 foot-pounds of torque, and Ducati has just done an incredible job. They've really stepped up the meshing of the torque slash horsepower together, and it just works together. We're in lower RPMs. We're typically on these Euro 5 bikes when we're, in these 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs. There's just that lag, but this thing's got the pickup, and you get about that 6,000-7,000 RPMs, and you don't feel that big turbo kick on. It just feels really good, really smooth power-wise. Now, this is the standard Ducati Monster. There is a Ducati Monster Plus in addition. The bike in a whole is exactly the same, but this one does have a optional rear cowl, but not the little bug screen. So this is just a standard Ducati Monster, and I will say the quick shifter, so it comes standard with the quick shifter, and it is good. I wouldn't call it great, but it is good. Now, with the new upgrades, we do have a hydraulic clutch, which has really helped out with a whole new clutch plate system and everything, springs. The clutch is real nice. And the quick shifter, like I said, it's good. It's not great, it's not silky butter, but it's good. It's a little bit hard, but not horrible. Now, vibration, they have taken it out of the bars. I'm so excited. There is no vibration in the bars. The foot pegs has virtually zero vibration, but for whatever reason they move that vibration somewhere, and it's in the tail of the bike. And so, being the size that I am, my tush is backed up to the rear cowl, and I feel this vibration back there, almost a numbing note of a vibration. That's the only vibration that I have a complaint on, is back there. Outside that, I really don't have much complaint about the vibration. There's virtually nothing in the handlebars, so that's really nice. The mirrors are actually usable. I was a little bit skeptical because they look like the same mirrors on the Street Fighter, which were completely useless, but this one I can actually see behind me, so that's very nice. Very nice. The Ducati has just done, again, sorry, just an amazing job with this thing in trimming nearly, just under 50 pounds off of the old Ducati, between the weight savings off the motor, between the weight savings off of the big old trellis frame, which was a big weight savings, 20 pounds I think they say. And then of course the swing arms got some weight savings, so there's just all around, they just saved so much weight, and it just reflects in the handling of this bike, because we're just over 410 pounds, and that makes a big difference, especially when you've got, you know, we usually would say a lower horsepower bike, but I feel like this bike, compared to the new Aprilia 660, has so much better delivery, so much better power. There's not this, let's get up in, let's do this. Let's get in, we're at like 3,500 RPMs, right? So we're at like a kind of a ridiculously low RPM, which is, yeah, some of you guys complain about it on, like, I see it on my Ducati. They're like, oh, there's a flat spot below 4,500 RPMs. So 4,000 RPMs, and you still got the nice pull. Way better pull than the RS660. That RS660, it took a minute for it to get up to 7,000 RPM. But then that power kicked on, and it took you up to that 100 horsepower claimed that it has. This bike, it's such a well-rounded bike. From being, again, my first impression on this bike, I'm really enjoying the handling, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but just the whole roundness of the power of this bike. I really like it. Now, the elephant in the room, the shocker to me was the suspension, and it is my biggest disappointment on the bike. is the fact that the bike is fixed suspension. There is zero compression and rebound adjustment on this. There is some rear dampening adjustment, but that is it. So that is my disappointment to this. Now, with the bike at just over $12,000, we had to trim some weight and some cost somewhere. And so I get that that's what Ducati's done, is Ducati's trim that down. But we do have some things like a standard quick shifter, you know. We have some things like more horsepower. The weight is just about the same, just a little bit, teeny bit more than the RS660, the Tuono 660. So we could put this definitely in a good category with the Tuono 660. And the Tuono 660 does come in at a $1,500 less cost. But if you start adding the quick shifter and the 6-axis IMU back onto the cost of the RS660, you're looking at $1,000 more for this bike. If you are considering a Tuono 660, I am about to rock your world and tell you this is the bike you need to buy. First impression, this is the bike you have to buy. I rode the RS660. If you guys haven't seen that review, it was an on-track review. I'll link it up above. But I was not quite impressed with it. And the RS660 really doesn't have much more adjustability on the suspension. Now back to the suspension, you can see I seem to be doing all right with the bike. And I will be honest, the suspension actually feels decent. But stick around because we're going to have this at Laguna Seca. So we're going to give you a little bit of track riding. But I just wanted to kind of give you a first impression of getting on the bike's ergonomics is very nice. The first thing I felt when I sat on the bike, and I said to Alex, I said, this feels sportier. And I like that it's sportier. And sure enough, Ducati's moved the rear sets, the foot pegs, back just a tad. And they've also moved the bars back a little bit to keep it a little bit more aggressive feeling. So I think, you know, a well-rounded bike. I mean, it's impressive to get on for the first time. And especially for somebody of my stature. You know, again, I'm 6'2", 230 pounds, and the bike feels pretty dang decent. I know I keep saying it, but it's just got some good stuff. So we're gonna stop right up here, give you guys a quick little walk around and a little peek at some of the treats on this thing. But stay tuned, because again, we're gonna have this out at the track. We're gonna have this out for Bogna to ride. I felt a little bit of heat underneath the rear cowl, but I think it's kind of hot out today, so I think that might be the heat issue. I don't really feel it in my thighs, so I think that's good. Brakes feel actually really good. I think I like these brakes better than those brakes. I like these brakes better than yours, which is sad.
Why you gotta be fast on my brakes?
So the 2021 Ducati Monster, yeah, we're going to give you guys a full walk around. So stay tuned, because I really want to get the camera in here and give you guys a good look at this thing, and talk about some of the aftermarket parts that might be available for this thing. But I'm enjoying it.
You look, you're like...
I mean, just over 410 pounds, you know, it's like 412 pounds or something like that. So this is the weight of the RS660, or let's compare it to the Tuono 660. So Tuono 660, it's after you add the 6-axis IMU and the quick shifter, you're like, oh, she's hot. It's a hot girl. You're like $1,000 more for this. And you got more horsepower. And I don't know. This looks way better than the Tuono 660.
Well, that bar is pretty low.
So, I don't know. My first impression, I'm really enjoying it. Thank you guys for sticking around. This was, again, my just want to get you guys something out here. We've got this thing for the weekend, and we're going to have just, it's all weekend of riding. We're riding tomorrow. We'll be back up here. Huh? Yep. So Bogdan will be on it tomorrow all day. And then I'm going to be on it all day at Alice's on Sunday. Oh, so you guys will see this video. If you guys are local to the Bay Area, we will have this along with the V2 up at Alice's on Sunday. And we're going to be up there at 10. I'll link down the information to the event. It is a viewing event for you guys to come take a look at the Monster. So if you guys are local, Sunday I'll be on this thing. And then Monday we'll be at Laguna Seca. Both me and Bogna will have this. We're taking this, we're taking this, we're taking my new bike. I haven't told them what I bought yet. Nobody knows. I bought a new bike last night, in addition. And I bought the new bike because the Street Fighter needed tires, and I couldn't get tires in time, so I just bought another bike.
That's the same thing to do.
It just makes sense.
Out of gas, buy a new car.
And I know this is a Ducati vlog. Alex, thank you, with Ducati. But I'm also taking my BMW HP2 Sport, which I'm super excited to have the BMW HP2 Sport at Laguna Seca. It's just. All right, guys. Well, thank you. The 2021 Ducati Monster. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next video. Bye, guys.